Slice looks to continue their win streak with a historic fourth straight win. Meanwhile, Meat French looks to turn snails into escargot, and newcomer Jay Pratt enters the fray. Can they dull Slice's dices? The truth will soon be known on the Clash of the Pencils live stream.
Turn on the stream tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story central time. Breaking down the plot, characters that fought, twists that hit the spot. It's all you live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the soul right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Breaking down the plot.
All right, welcome to Clash of the Pencils live stream, the only full contact creative writing esports league in the history of America, the world, potentially the universe. So I am Tom Sherman, joined as always by Greg the Egg Peterson, and we are here to analyze the plot, character, and setting of the top short stories of the day. Every day, authors from across the internet submit a handwritten one-page story based off a prompt that gets revealed at the end of the live stream. And then the public at large votes for their favorite story, and we reveal the winner at the end of every show. So what does it take to get to the finals? Let's take a look at our keys to victory. There are three main elements that triangulate to create a story. That is plot, setting, and character. The closer the author can strike to the center of each element, the more engaging, visceral, and exciting that story will be. So keeping that in mind, Greg, what do you think authors need to focus on when they're dealing with something like today's prompt, a reverse Mad Libs? They need to use 5 phrases in their story: soulful eyes, Santa Fe, circadian rhythm, hullabaloo, and chump change.
I'm very excited, Tom. This is one of our first reverse Mad Libs in a while. Mm-hmm. I think that this is wide open. It's a canvas on which to paint. I don't know if there's really any plot, character, setting yet, other than there's some soulful eyes, and we may or may not be in Santa Fe, but that could be left open to interpretation. Many clever and creative ways to get those words into the story.
That is a fact.
I was rolling dice outside Uncle Wilson's Korean BBQ plus karaoke joint when she rolled up on me with those soulful eyes, and I knew we weren't in Santa Fe anymore. My circadian rhythm wouldn't stand a chance against that piercing gaze, her penetrating mien. I knew I would be up all night thinking of her, and the consequences would be dire. I was supposed to be at the factory by 4 a.m. Supervisor Mudd had been explicit about that, but I knew I wouldn't make it. Thick, hot, bulbous, viscous raindrops dripped from the eave above me and slapped the back of my neck as if to say, "Wake up, you young man." From the blaring car radio of an olive green 79 Chevy Impala passing by, the snarled vocals of Eric Burden called out for me to spill the wine, take that pearl. My heart went pitter-patter, and I knew I had to do it. I would risk it all for this woman. Empty the 401k, flip the Doge, and sell my stake in the Birds Only Fight Club, in which I'd recently invested. It wasn't much, but it wasn't chump change either. I had to have her. But as I began to open my mouth, giddy with anticipation, already planning our next 50 years together in the back of my mind, the door to Wilson's slammed open, and the bouncer yelled, "Putman, Kelly Clarkson, you're up." And well, there are very few certainties in life, but I know you never walk out on a Kelly Clarkson karaoke opportunity. I sighed, nodded to the mysterious woman, and walked back into the hullabaloo of the club, ready to hit some breakaway. Love would have to wait.
Okay, so our narrator, Putnam, outside of Uncle Wilson's Korean barbecue and karaoke joint, shooting dice when a mysterious woman catches his eye, and then he falls madly in love, decides gonna sell the 401k, flip the Dogecoin, sell the stake in the Birds Fight Club, all the investments, and only to be snapped back to reality after the bouncer says, "Hey, it's your turn to sing Kelly Clarkson," and you only get so many chances in life to do that.
Wow, this was a journey. I feel like the atmosphere, I was there. The setting, Uncle Wilson's Korean barbecue and karaoke, we get sort of, I love how that is, it's late night, it's outside there. These are some soulful eyes, Tom. If they're getting you to think in those terms of liquidating all of your assets, and then you're snapped back to reality when the door opens and we've got the opportunity, presumably for what you've been waiting for the whole night. You've been waiting to 4 a.m. to do some Kelly Clarkson breakaway on the mic. And we get this really interesting trade-off. Is it the soulful eyes, or is it Kelly Clarkson breakaway? Ultimately, we chose our girl, Kelly Clarkson.
Probably the smart call, you would think. I don't know. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the sort of mystery and intrigue, and a lot of the tension that builds up is just this sort of character caught in their own mind, which is great when they get snapped out of it by the raindrops from the eave. And like you said, I think the setting was probably the sharpest aspect of this story. I mean, it was very, all the key details, the car driving by, playing the song, and all those sorts of things puts you really right in that moment.
It wasn't just any car, Tom. It wasn't just any car. It was an olive green 79 Chevy Impala with the snarled vocals of Eric Burden calling out to spill the wine, take that pearl.
Right. So yeah, I wasn't going to be able to quote that directly, so I'm glad you pulled that out for me. Yeah, that's good.
But the details, I want to emphasize, the details make the setting. They make the setting, and they get the believability or the authenticity of the narrator's voice here. It's interesting. This is a narrator that's very moved by music. The whims of their decision making seem to be what soundtrack is going on. And so music is a big part of the story that determines the plot.
It really makes you wonder what they were listening to that made Putnam decide to shoot dice to begin with.
Shoot dice outside on the alley of the Korean barbecue and karaoke.
It must have been quite a jam.
Under the flickering neon sign of Rusty Santa's Iron Emporium, Myrtle adjusted her circadian rhythm with a gulp of her usual black coffee. No sugar, no nonsense. The shop was an oddball relic on the outskirts of town, filled with things no one needed. Corroding iron reindeer, metal pineapples, Sue's iron Speedos, even a cast-iron bed for dogs. The owner, Santa himself, was no jolly gift-giver. He was a scrawny man with soulful eyes and a love for causing hullabaloo. Tonight, the Emporium was alive with customers, but no one was buying. Myrtle knew why. They were here for the spectacle of Santa ranting about chump-change customers who wouldn't appreciate a handcrafted iron sleigh if it laid them in the face. She smirked, watching him ramble, a weird charm in his madness. A crash echoed from the back. Myrtle peeked around the corner, finding a feral raccoon dancing on an anvil, covered in iron filings. Santa threw up his arms. See? Even he understands the value of art. Myrtle laughed. This place is nuts, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay, so Myrtle is in the Santa's. Hold on, let me get this right. Is in Rusty Santa's Iron Emporium, iron in parentheses FE. So that's your Santa Fe. So in Rusty Santa's Iron Emporium, Myrtle walks around, watches Santa rail about how no one wants to buy any of this great rusted ironworks, only to hear a crash in the back and see a feral raccoon dancing on an anvil covered in iron filings, and which Santa says, "See, now that character knows art right there."
Oh man, another setting. It's funny that the details of these places really make all the words come alive in totally different settings. But I could picture this world entirely. The clever Santa FE is a very, very clever way to smuggle in Santa Fe from one of the five Mad Libs. I liked the line. It was, what was the coffee when to adjust the
Oh yeah,
no
no
sugar,
sugar,
no nonsense.
Yeah.
But we get this lovely, I don't know, menagerie of oddball relics on the outskirts of town. We get the corroding iron reindeer, metal pineapples, iron Speedos, cast iron bed for dogs. This is clearly the unnecessary excess of a retail shopping experience, all in rusting iron. And so there's this really interesting tension going on between trying to sell this kind of grizzled shop owner Santa who's trying to actually think about buying this, and then thinking about this in terms of art. And valuation is sort of that's the underlying preoccupation that's going on here. The last line is the clue to that. See, even he understands the value of art versus commerce. So we get some really interesting tension about what's the point of making all of this stuff, and really, what's the point of writing these stories, Tom?
You know, it's about the same as a feral raccoon dancing on an anvil, I would think.
If that doesn't describe this live stream, I don't know what does.
I relate with that raccoon all the time, oddly enough.
Edge of the runway where dreams ignite. Who stares down into the endless night? Birds of flight, school store to the plan. Grow together, fly high hand in hand. Tom Cruise finds himself in the cockpit seat. Heart pounding, fist clenched, he can't be beat. He learns from the birds how to soar so high. Wings of steel under a violet sky. Birds of flight, school crow with pride. Tom Cruise finding the hero inside. Together they'll rise into the unknown, learning the rhythm of the wind they flow.
The prompt for tomorrow is: there's been a mix-up. A Crocodile Chef's restaurant accidentally gets musical instruments delivered from a rock concert, forcing the croc to get creative with that night's dinner menu. So I'll read that one more time. There's a lot going on there. There's been a mix-up. A Crocodile Chef's restaurant accidentally gets musical instruments delivered from a rock concert, forcing the croc to get creative with that night's dinner menu. So that's our prompt for today, or coming up. So where do you think our authors might want to go with that?
Well, they say crocodiles can eat anything. So it seems like there's the cleverness of how you're going to put those two kinds of worlds over a rock concert with all the instruments with a restaurant setting. Seems like that's
this is it. All we got to do left is the top 5 sentences of. And with no further ado, here they are. Number 5 from Racontus. The hullabaloo was not on their itinerary, and while they were nosy gals, they decided to ignore the drama and exited the station to the Southwest adventure that awaited them. Number 4 from Red 19. The hullabaloo of the start of the school year had died down by now, and the first grades into the grade book at Santa Fe Elementary meant that Redbot Penbot's takeover of the administration was nearly complete. Number 3 from Meat French. A crash echoed from the back. Myrtle peeked around the corner, finding a feral raccoon dancing on an anvil covered in iron filings. Santa threw up his arms. Number 2 from Slice. She exclaimed monotonously outrages that had occurred while she slept. Mrs. Doubtfire remake, Belarus invasion, goose flu, library collapse, flannel tariff, camera alert, Dell came home at 5 a.m., atmospheric warning, mayor resigned. And the number 1 sentence of the night from Jay Pratt. I was rolling dice outside of Uncle Wilson's Korean barbecue and karaoke joint when she rolled up on me with those soulful eyes, and I knew we weren't in Santa Fe anymore.
Wow. Incredible range on the reverse Mad Libs today.
I love it. That's why we play, folks. If you want to play along and you haven't downloaded the app yet, the links are in the YouTube description right there. So just pick whichever one you want, the iPhone or the Android, download it and play along. Keep those pencils sharp.
And kids, don't let your creativity get captured.
Turn on the street tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story central time. Breaking down the plots, characters that fought, twist that hit the spot. It's all here live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the story right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories